Hi, here's Deathscyp from YCG, your casual gamer. Let's get started. We're gonna start by setting up our project for today. So click on New Project after you launch the engine, of course. We're gonna click on First Person Template with blueprints, no C++, and with starter content. That's all you need to do for here. If the content is off, just put it on. And we're gonna name the project. I'm gonna name it Deathscyp Factory. And click on Create. Alright, here we go. So that when you start, that's what they give you. They give you a first person template. You have over here blueprints given to you by Unreal Engine for first person template. First thing first, we're going to go over here and show or hide the source panel. Very important to have this over here because we're not going to stay with their folder. We're going to create our own. It's always best to do this because your project might start very small, but it becomes big very fast. So you want to stay organized because you're going to get lost quick if, let's say, you can't work on your project for 1 week or so. So right click on the content browser, click new folder, and we're going to name it after a project. I'm going to call it Deathscyp Factory and click enter. From here, it's still hard to see because they're all the same color, so I'm going to set a color to it. Set color, I like to use dark purple. It's easy to see, it's sticking out there. So from here, we're going to create a couple of folders inside there. One name maps, not mapas, maps. And the other one blueprint. There we go. So now we're going to assign them color too. Right click, set color, new color. For blueprints, let's make it blue. It goes with the name. And maps, let's go and create a darkish yellow. There we go. So inside the blueprint right now, there's nothing. But as you saw, Unreal Engine gave us a few blueprints. We're going to go right away and grab the first person character and drag and drop it here. Click on move here. And these three over here, we don't need them. So you could pretty much delete them, but leave them on for now because they don't do any harm to us, and you don't need them inside this tutorial series. Click on blueprint, go back to first person character, double click inside. Now if you're new to Unreal Engine, all this is going to look like Chinese to you. I understand. If you want to navigate through it, you right click and you drag. Okay, if you don't know any of the navigation tool, I suggest you go see the Unreal Engine massive tutorial series. You're going to learn quick how to navigate. After you know how to navigate, come back to this series. I'm going to show you everything else from here. So Unreal Engine, they give you like this sample of projectile over here, but we don't need any of that. It's just annoying. It's always going to be in the way. So I decided for the purpose of this tutorial to just delete it. If you want to keep it, move it to the side, no problem. If not, just delete it. And this too, I'm going to move it aside because it's all this over here is for the VR, virtual reality stuff that they have with the engine, but we're not going to use that either. So just put it on the side. And that leaves you with those four things over here. That's important because that's your basic movements. If you want to modify it eventually later, I might post a video how to do that. But for now, just leave it as it is. That way, at least you can move around and jump inside your level. Click compile and save. Now the other thing I'm going to remove is from viewport. You're going to click on the viewport tab, and you see the gun over here. We don't need it. But don't delete it because it's hooked up to the camera and I don't want to screw up the alignment and everything. So let's just go under rendering over here on the right side, scroll down to it and click on visible. That way it's going to be invisible all the time. Same thing with the arms, click visible, and with the VR gun, and we hit it. Compile and save, and that's all we have to do for now inside the first person character. Click X. So now when you press play, your character is going to move around and you won't have anything in the way, no gun, and it's going to be easier for us to interact after. Press escape. Now we're going to create our first map over here. Click right click over here and click level, and we're going to call it Factory -1. Alright, so that's good for now. Save everything, double click inside and save again, and boom, you're now inside a blank folder. There's nothing in here. Right away, I see we still have time. I don't want to make my videos too long. Maybe 8 minutes should be my cue. I see we're at 6 minutes right now. That's pretty good time. We're gonna grab the from the tab on the left, the geometry tab. We're gonna grab our BSP just to get it ready for the next video. Now I can't see anything right now, so we're gonna go on the top left and click on lit and unlit. That way it subtracts all the light, so there's no light right now. You're gonna be able to see what you work with. Most of the time when you work on your levels, you're gonna work with unlit material. That way it requires a lot less from your CPU and your graphic card, and you're gonna have much smoother rendering before you actually jump into the game. So grab this. So right now you see we're snapped to the grid. The grid is at the bottom. I don't like this for some reason. Every time you interact with the grid, and if you're above or underneath, I've read a bunch of documentaries saying it's not too good to stay where the grid is unless you're doing an open world where the grid applies and you move. I might be talking out of my ass over here, but I've had issues before. Maybe they fixed it in these version now, but for the purpose of the tutorial, I'm just going to click right here on the right on the location, and I'm going to jump to 2200. So now my cube is up there, and this is where we're going to be doing our BSP level. So I think that's pretty good for the first video. Let's wrap it up. So now you have these 3 folders, and there's something inside each folder. If you create a folder and there's nothing in there when you save and you quit, it's going to delete it because the engine is programmed to keep everything nice and tight. So make sure to always have something inside each folders that you create, or else you're going to come back and you'll be like, where did my folders go? That's what's going to happen. So that being said, we're all done for today. Let's cut it up for here, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much, guys.